Welcome to This Week in Astrology. This is episode number 577 for March 15 through 21, 2021. What's new this week? The sun enters Aries, so I do an in-depth interpretation of the spring equinox chart. We have creative inspiration with Venus quintile Mars, more intuitive hits with Mercury sextile Uranus, and greater endurance with Mars trine Saturn, plus 3 bonus aspects that are not in my written forecast. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm your host, Benjamin Bernstein, broadcasting from thisweekinastrology.com. I record these forecasts as an audio podcast and a video, so you can choose the format you like. The video version includes detailed chart graphics, which you can also see in my written forecasts at astroshaman.com. We're honored to be one of the internet's top 10 astrology podcasts. Check out thisweekinastrology.com, where you can hear the show and subscribe to podcast updates. And if you haven't already, be sure to click the link in the show notes for 2 chances to win a free Astrology Plus session with me each month. What's old as we come into this week? We have a waxing moon. We have the final mention of that grand cross with Vesta, Neptune, and the lunar nodes. It's been running several months and wraps up this week. And that's all the old stuff. Let's go on to this week's events. Tuesday, March 16, we have the sun sextile Pluto. Sun is 26 Pisces, Pluto is 26 Capricorn. Let's just start with the planets. A sun-Pluto sextile is very energizing, and Pluto in a soft aspect like this is more likely to give abundance and wealth. It's high side things. If you're doing shadow work, the shadow work can go a little more easily. Pluto, Lord of the Underworld, really loves that stuff. And Sun in Pisces, Pluto therefore can amplify Piscean things such as spiritual awakening, inspired creativity, flow state, dream work, all that kind of juicy stuff. So a lovely energizing aspect here on the 16th. Let's move on to Wednesday, March 17. We have Mars sextile Chiron. Mars is 8 Gemini, Chiron is 8 Aries. Mars, again, another sextile, harmonious, energizing aspect. Chiron, in this context, is more likely to come into its high side, mentor, healer. Mars energizing that. If you want to be more assertive as a mentor or healer, or you need to get assertive about receiving those gifts from others, that all works. Again, if you're doing shadow work, Chiron represents that as well. Mars can energize it, and with Mars in Gemini, it might even go more quickly. You might also enjoy trying a little variety in your shadow work if you, or you're mentoring or healing. Mars loves variety when it's in Gemini. So maybe try a little something you haven't done before. Moving on to Thursday, March 18th, we open with Venus sextile Pluto, another bonus aspect. Venus 26 Pisces, Pluto 26 Capricorn. Venus has several meanings. Once again, another sextile. So Pluto is energizing this. So relationships could be energized and given more wealth and power. This could apply also to money or to creativity. So a lot of very positive possibilities here. Venus is also in Pisces. So therefore Piscean themes could be energized. With Venus involved, we could say, okay, this could be Venus relationship, Pisces, my own divinity, Pluto empowering that beautiful connection, perhaps by stirring up a bit of shadow work and getting that heavy stuff out of the way so I can blend more fully with what I am. Or it could be I'm relating with something else in the world. It could be another person. It could be nature itself. And Pluto is energizing my ability to merge consciously and blend energetically with that which is around me, going into what shamans call the middle world. I'm not just aware of the physical objects and my 5 senses, but that 6 senses turned on, and I'm also experiencing my energetic connection and even oneness with those things. So next up, I have a pre-written forecast. You can enjoy magical creative inspiration with Venus quintile Mars. Venus is at 27 Pisces and Mars is at 9 Gemini. This fairy dust aspect can also help you take a relationship to the next level. Now we have our headliner. On March 20th, Saturday, we have the spring equinox and the sun entering Aries. That's happening at 5:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, making the energy of this fiery sign more prominent. How potently are you embodying the energies of the pioneer, warrior, or entrepreneur? How's your sex life? How are you handling anger and impulsiveness? When the sun enters Aries, it marks the moment of the spring equinox chart. And this chart gives an overview of the astrology energy for the next 3 months. The spring equinox chart features the two most important aspects of 2021, a Saturn-Uranus square and a Saturn-Chiron sextile. I've already written deep dive interpretations of both these aspects, which you can read by clicking the links in the show notes. Both of these aspects last the entire year and appear in all 4 of this year's seasonal charts. This particular chart features a triple conjunction of the Moon, Mars, and the North Node in Gemini. Are you passionately pursuing your life purpose? Are you gathering the information you need to do so, or disseminating the information that you feel inspired to share? A Mercury Pallas Athena conjunction encourages you to learn and teach strategically, while their placement in Pisces encourages you to stay open to intuitive downloads. In addition to the triple conjunction, the spring equinox chart features 3 notable aspect patterns, and they all include Vesta. How many different ways can one seasonal chart support selfless service to a higher cause? A Grand Cross featuring Mercury, Vesta, and the lunar nodes invites you to learn more about this worthy venture and might also be encouraging you to spread the word about it. A Thor's Hammer featuring Mars, Vesta, and Pluto invites you to take bold action to bring about the transformation espoused by this cause. Finally, a Finger of God featuring Ceres, Vesta, Saturn, and Chiron promotes healing and the sharing of wisdom in relation to your selfless service. You could be the giver, receiver, or both. If this involves shadow work, the sextile connecting Saturn with Chiron and Ceres could help it proceed more smoothly. And if you'd like an awesome shadow work modality, go to astroshaman.com, and on the menu bar, the last word is invocations, or just click the link in the show notes. Either way, you'll get to my free invocation masterclass, which includes an invocation for calling your higher self to actually do your shadow work for you. You can also call your higher self in to do your embodied awakening for you. Thousands of people have done these tools, have found them super helpful. Again, they're free on my site if you are interested. On Sunday, March 21st, you can receive intuitive flashes more easily with Mercury sextile Uranus. Mercury, 9 Pisces, Uranus, 9 Taurus. With Mercury in Pisces, these sudden flashes of knowing may support your creativity or spirituality. Next, you can enjoy extended endurance more easily with Mars trine Saturn. Mars, 11 Gemini, Saturn, 11 Aquarius. With Mars in Gemini, you might find learning and sharing information especially interesting. And be sure to spice up your Energizer Bunny persistence with some variety. I want to tell you about a very cool training. It's called Healing the Internal Family, Bringing Internal Family Systems to Your Practice. I'm going to be a student in this special online training. I've known the facilitator, Ted Riskin, for years and enthusiastically recommend him. This training is almost full as I record this on Monday and is an amazing value. So I suggest you check this out right away if you're interested. Internal family systems is one of the fastest growing models of therapy today because it works. As the public learns about IFS, they're looking for therapists, coaches, counselors, and other practitioners who can work with this approach. You can prepare to respond to this need by dedicating 4 months of Friday mornings to your education starting on April 9th. I'll certainly be there. How is internal family systems different from other therapies? IFS views the psyche as consisting of self plus a collection of various subpersonalities or parts. By doing this, IFS is able to understand the complexities of human behavior and bring harmony to the system. Instead of parts struggling with each other for control, self steps into a leadership role and makes life decisions that all parts can support. Instead of reacting reflexively to life's circumstances, we respond with calmness and clarity. Understanding that all parts are trying to be helpful, we let go of judgment and bring acceptance to our problematic behaviors, even as we help them change. Here's a quote from Richard Schwartz, PhD, the founder of IFS. He said, IFS is more than a therapeutic technique. It is a conceptual framework and practice for developing love for ourselves and each other. If you're interested, check the show notes where you can click and learn more about this course. Again, almost sold out as I record this. If you're interested, I recommend you jump in and find out pretty quickly. Next, I want to tell you about my Awakening Plus Zoom calls, many of which are free to the public. These events support your individual healing and awakening, as well as global spiritual awakening. Some events are for Awakening Plus members only, but we'd love to have you join our supportive online community. Dip your toe in the water with our 30 days for $1 risk-free trial membership. Here are details on this week's 3 events, all at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. This Tuesday, March 16th, members only, individual healings that also bless the senders. You can support the individual healing of the people on this call and maybe even get one of your own. The magic of this process is in the combined healing intentions of everyone who participates. Don't be surprised if you receive bounce back healing as you hold space for someone else. We should have time for 3 or 4 members in the hot seat. This should last around 90 minutes. Then another members only event on Wednesday, March 17, community support call. Like all our calls this week, they're at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Community can be crucially important on the spiritual path. This is especially true now when so many of us are still physically isolated. You may not belong to a spiritual support group or may not feel fully aligned with them. Awakening Plus members experience the joy of creating and deepening connection with each other online. We support each other in large and small groups from the comfort of our homes with no risk of catching the coronavirus. This call should last around 90 minutes. And then every week on Mondays, we do the New Earth Support Team. That's tonight as I record this at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, recording on Monday, obviously. In this popular weekly event, we first create our sacred container and invoke embodied awakening. Then we let our divine allies know that we've come to serve the great global awakening, and they take it from there. Our intention is always the same, but the divine keeps it fresh by providing endless variations on this amazing experience. Thankfully, one thing remains consistent: the personal healing, spiritual upgrades, and profound bliss we always receive. This should last around an hour. Later in March, we're going to have 2 free public events. On March 23rd, Reawaken Your DNA Light Codes with Judith Corvin Blackburn, guest presenter. And then on March 30th, Group Healing, Immunity Boosting, and Awakening. Awakening Plus features at least 10 live streaming events each month. Many are open to everyone for free, but members receive these exclusive benefits. Of those 10 live Zoom calls, about half are members only. Members get an archive of over 300 life-transforming events, plus a best of guide, so you can choose the best ones. Enlightening course content, including the complete 16-part invocation masterclass, 2 community connection calls per month, an accountability partner, private forum, all kinds of goodies. You can learn more or start your 30 days for $1 risk-free trial membership at awakeningplus.com. Thanks for being here. Once again, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. I can serve you with astrology readings, shamanic healing, awakening activation, astrological event timing, and one-of-a-kind life coaching. All my one-on-one services are equally effective in person or long distance. And during the pandemic, I have dropped my rates. I also offer an unbeatable price on SolarFire, the #1 astrology software for Windows. And as I mentioned, I run the Awakening Plus online membership for spiritual support. You can learn about all this and more at astroshaman.com. For the show notes, go to astroshaman.com/577. Please reach out if you have any questions. My email is astroshamanbenjamin@gmail.com. My number for voice and text, 828-338-9852. I would love to connect with you. We're wrapping it up. Please leave me a rating, review, or comment wherever you're getting this episode, so others who also love astrology and spirituality can find it. Thank you again for spending this time with me. Stay safe, stay healthy. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.